had so much fun. We came back around. We're doing it again. So I cannot wait.
Chip.
Yes, we're gonna do chip from.
We've never done that before.
Yeah, this is gonna be a new one for us. So, I think we might have done Pluto before. I don't know if we did or
We've done Pluto.
Yeah.
I believe my Pluto together before. This one was really
This was
sad.
bad. And it was kind of harder. We're now like 3 rows back. Back there, we were in the very last row. So we're hoping being up closer to the monitor there, we'll be able to see it better. We were blaming that on the reason. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully this goes good. Because yeah, chip will be a fun one.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Animation Academy here at Epcot International Festival of the Arts. My name is Jamie. I'm one of the sketch artists here at the Walt Disney World Resort. Super excited to welcome you all back. I see some of you are in my previous classes, so that's going to be a lot of fun. So, to get started here, so this is about what he's going to look like when it's all said and done. So he'll be real cute. So yeah, it'll be a little, like I said, on the trickier side, but we're going to take it one step at a time, so he'll look to get his motion in here first. So if yours ends up being pretty long, like mine's really long right now, but we're gonna edit it down when we get to that point. I just want to get his basic shape in there first. So the next thing we're gonna do, and since he is looking up, we're gonna sort of make this this rounded shape that goes down just like this. So he's almost kind of like a upside down bell shape. Kind of like this here. And the whole reason we're drawing this nice and lightly because he's going to have like more curves into the cup shape here, and then he'll have his handle in just a moment, and of course that signature chip in the side there. But we just want to get his basic shape first. And we're going to do another little shape down here at the bottom. And this is going to be sort of like a dome shape, and that's going to be his base. Like I said, since we're drawing this in lightly, it doesn't have to be perfect at this point. We're just going to make sure everything's where it's supposed to be before we start adding in details. So even when I'm drawing for myself and I'm not teaching these classes, it's 100% how I start all of my drawings. I always break it down in simple shapes first. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a line go from the top to the bottom that kind of shows which way he's pointing in. And so what we want to do is we want to curve it just a little bit. See, it's going to finish right off about in the middle of our base there. So this line, like I said, helps us show the direction his entire body is pointing in there. All right. So we're going to draw another guideline, and this one is going to follow the same shape as the top of our cup here, but you're going to go down about 1.5 inches, I'd say, and then bring it across just like this. And you want to make sure it has a nice curve to it like that there. And to kind of give you an idea, this is actually going to be where his eye sits, just so you make sure you give yourself plenty of room up at the top there. So this point we can actually start adding in some fun things here. So I usually like to start with the character's eyes first. So his eye is just sort of like an egg shape that sits right on top of that guideline there. Just like that. And since his handle is another pretty important feature, I usually like to start that one next. And this one actually starts pretty close to his eye there. And it's going to go up, this nice curving shape. And you see it goes about the height of his eye too, like that. And I'll kind of sketch it in so you can see it a little bit better. It's going to go around like this. I'm going to stop it right about at the end, right on top of this horizontal line again, just so I want to make sure we all put him right about in the same spot. So if you take the height of his eye and you bring it down just about at the bottom there, so it's basically 2 eyes down, just like that. That's about where his nose is going to stop, the handle. So like I said, it's the height of his eye just doubled there. So when you bring that nose around, that's exactly where it's going to stop. But it's going to be right against that middle line there. So his handle is the same height as two of his eyes, stacked on top of each other. I know that's a little odd, but it definitely helps to have when you want to keep your characters consistent, to be able to measure different portions with other features there. So to kind of like give a little bit more definition to this handle here, when it comes around this way, it goes out, and then it's actually going to come in just a little bit like that there at the end. And I'll kind of show you here too. So it almost ends up making sort of like this question mark. So as it gets closer to the bottom, it starts to thin out. Just like that. So it makes that nice question mark shape. At this point, we'd actually start darkening some things in. So if we wanted to start with this handle for his nose, we can go ahead and do that here. I usually like to have a little bit of an overlap right there. So you can kind of see like this line goes down, that one goes right above it there. It's good to have that kind of overlap because it creates volume in your two-dimensional drawings. And it's not just flat against it like a half circle. And I'm just going to fill mine in anyway. Alright, so I'm going to drop right below his eye. So we kind of are in this section here where the handle connects right back to the cup shape. I'm going to draw this nice curved line that kind of goes up here. And so this all together would be his cheek. And this is where his smile is going to be pushing his cheek up. If it makes it easier for you to just draw a curved line that goes out like that, you definitely can. Alright. So, coming right out of this line, we're going to make a backwards J shape. So it's going to go right down to our vertical guideline here. And it's going to just go out just like that. So we're making a nice J shape. Kind of see that backwards J forming there. I'm going to go ahead and darken that line as well. Alright, now coming off that same spot, we're going to do another J shape. But it's going to stay connected at the top there, and when it gets lower to the bottom, that thing's going to start to separate. Like that, because we want his mouth open there. But then it's going to curl in just a little bit at the bottom. And remember, his smile goes past our little vertical line going down there. And then you can connect them with an inwards curved line there for the inside of his mouth. And we'll have a tongue at the bottom too, and that's just as easy as just a curved line from the top side to the bottom right there. And again, whenever I draw characters with their mouths open, I like to just shade in the background there for that little illusion of depth. And of course you could toss in another little curved line for a little bit of a chin. Alright, made a good bit of progress already. That's awesome. I already see some nice ones out there. That's great. Alright. So in this space we have over here, of course, we can add in a little V shape, and this will be the chip coming out. And it's just about as, goes about as far down as his eye does there. You can kind of see it. A little bit smaller. Alright. So, let me see. Utilizing this top curve we have here, we can add a little bit of a rim to the top of the cup. So here's the top of our little curve. I'm just adding another rim right on top. And we're gonna bring this around. See, we wanna curve it down just a little bit here at the end. It's gonna go in a little bit more. See, we kind of have like this high point on our handle here, and that's kind of curves in towards that there. You don't want it to touch against the handle, but you definitely want it to bring it down from our original shape there. So I'm gonna go ahead and darken that line so you can see it better. So I deviated from our original little curved line, and I'm gonna bring it down closer to the handle. And I'm gonna stop it right there. As you see, we're gonna curve this cup in a little bit there. You see it comes in right up against his handle there, and that's the finish on the trim there. Alright. So this little chip that we made, you don't want it to be this nice clean cut. You want to make these sides a little bit jagged, so there's no real right wrong way to do that, but you definitely don't want to make it too sharp or add too many ridges in there, because then it becomes really busy and distracting. Alright. And we're going to do the same on the other side of this little shape. But what I want to do first is I want to add in this other little triangle shape. There's a thinner triangle right behind it, because that's actually like the inside of the broken cup here. So you want to have that little bit of perspective there. And just like we did here, added this little trim to the top, we're going to do that on this side as well. And I'm going to curve mine in just a little bit more. So see, I just brought it down just a little bit. But before we darken this line, I want to change a little bit of the shape that he has here, because like I said, he's a little bit of an upside down bell shape. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to have this line go in a little bit. So it kind of goes in towards this horizontal line that we have here. And then as it goes down, it's going to widen back out into our original shape there. But again, you don't want to darken this in quite yet, because we have to have it do a little more overlapping at the bottom. I was mainly just focused on the top, like I said, going in, and then it goes back out. So really from our original shape, we just cut off this little sliver here. Alright. To finish off this little chip here, you're going to do the same sort of jagged edge, but you want to do this on the outer side, the left side of our little triangle. And then the inside, you want to keep that a little bit smoother. So to kind of show you, so this would be, I'm going to shade this in so it looks a little further away. And if you haven't darkened up these lines over here, you can definitely go ahead and do that. Just again, we're not going to darken the side of this little cup yet. Alright. So before we can darken in the rest of his cup body here, what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to the bottom. And just like we were doing at the top here, we're going to just draw another little ring that connects the base of the cup to him, just like that here. I'm just going to sketch this real quick so you can see. So we're just sort of making this little tube shape just like that, that's rounded on either end. And you can actually go ahead and darken that too if you'd like. That's not going to change any. At that point, we can actually go ahead and finish off his head. So again, we're going to kind of like, and you can see behind his handle nose here, you're going to bring the cup in just a little bit, and then it's going to go back out into our original shape there. I'll darken that inside so you can see. So this was my original line that went to the top, and I just brought it in just a little bit into a nice curved shape down to the bottom. All right. And actually, right above his eyes, he does have eyebrows that kind of go over the rim of the cup there. And even though you can't really see his other eye, we do have the other eyebrow there. Like technically you would be able to see it, but it usually makes that portion of his face too busy and it looks a little weird when you do, so we just kind of pretend it doesn't exist for a moment. Alright, so my little half circle shape down here is pretty wide, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to narrow it down just a little bit, because I like to keep it on the inside of this little shape we just made. So right now it's on the outside, I'm going to put it on the inside there, but it's still going to maintain that same shape, the same little dome shape coming down, just like this. I just narrowed mine a little bit more. And it will actually flare out a little bit at the bottom there. So, this would be the last thing to finish on him. So I'm going to do a curved line that starts rounded up like this. But as it goes down, it's going to round down before it comes back up. So we have this really stretch out curved shape, just like that. And I'm going to darken mine so you can see it better. And you can darken yours as well. And see, the end of my line over here goes just past the bottom of the base here. And we're going to do another line that follows that same shape. Just like that, right underneath. The only difference here is that on the end, this one's going to curl around like that. And then this one on the left is going to curl down like that. And then one last thing to do on Chip here, he does have this little pattern right here, and there's just these little, almost sort of like leaf shapes that come down. And I usually only have room for about 4 of them in here. They do kind of overlap each other in there. And in the middle, oftentimes you see these little lines in them. But again, they're just these little leaf shapes that come down. Just like that. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and call my chip done. Alright. So of course when you are done with your chip, you definitely want to sign a super important thing for an artist. So then I'm going to leave this up here while I ask my trivia questions I like to do. So again, my rules are super simple. I ask that you let me ask the whole question first so that you don't blur out the answer, that you actually raise your hand. If you have the correct answer, chip is all yours. So my question is, the Beast makes a cameo as a little wooden figure in what 1992 animated film? Becky? Aladdin, that is correct. Yes, you can see the little wooden figure Beast during a Genie's song. Alright, so that concludes this Animation Academy here with Chip at 6:30. We're going to be drawing Gus Gus, the chubby little mouse from Cinderella. If that's a character you want to tackle, which is actually a little bit easier than Chip here. We ask you just hop back in line so we can reset the paper. But if this is it for you, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening here at Epcot. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun! Wow. Let me see yours, Mom. Oh my gosh, she's adorable. I like it. Yes, and they said that this one was actually more challenging, but yeah, I agree. I like this one. Oh, that's cute, Dad. Yeah, he's like a chubby chip. That's cute. Oh my gosh, I love this. This is so fun.
By tomorrow, it'll be.
So that Animation Academy, that was so much fun. My hope is that once Star Wars Land opens and we have Star Wars represented there, that they won't need the Star Wars launch bay anymore and they will bring back the Animation Academy, because that experience, it is just so much fun. I love that. So definitely, it'd be awesome if we could go do that again, like more times, like before the end of this festival tour. I want to go again. Yeah, so it's just so fun, and every single time you heard the guy saying they do something different. So you could go around multiple times like we just did, like we did Pluto, then we hop right back in line. And they do them in like, it's like half-hour sets, so it's like a 20-minute class, and then they take like 10 minutes to reset and everything and get the papers back out and stuff. So that's just so fun. All right, now back to Taste Track because it's time for me to have my churros. I'm really excited about this. Right now we just walked into Mouse Gear also so that we could take a picture and properly show off the churros. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna try my first one. We'll do the blue one. Okay.